Hello, our dear viewers. Today, at the request of one of our subscribers, we will raise one sensitive issue from personal relationships. Namely, how do I deal with the fact that my girlfriend had a threesome a few years before she met me? I agree. Knowledge is SOSO. The only consolation is that it was before your time. If it was in front of you but without you, it would be more frustrating. Just kidding. As for me, it is better not to know about it at all, but if this information, for one reason or another, appeared, then, of course, something should be done about it. Let's hear the opinions we've gathered on the subject. So don't leave without watching it to the end. At the end of the video we will discuss what we have heard and think how to be our poor guy. Luke, 27, will now give his opinion.
I won't debate the various contentious philosophies surrounding the differences between male and female sexuality. I'll just write about my own experience. I struggled with knowing my ex-girlfriend's past. That was insecure of me. It was always a sore spot in my relationship. She had threesomes/foursomes, had a tendency to sext basically everyone within a mile radius, slept with a friend, who I knew very well, and she always insisted it was platonic, just to see what it was like, etc. Insecure of me? Probably. Does it make me a bad or inherently malicious person to feel insecure about those things? Of course not. There's always a degree of instinct programmed into us where we sense something isn't quite right and we can't quite put our fingers on it a lot of the time. It doesn't make us bad people to go with those instincts. Either way, I ended it. I thought the insecurity and low-level anxiety I always felt wasn't worth the payoff of the relationship itself. Initially, I felt stupid and like perhaps I'd made a mistake. Her friends messaged me saying that she was upset. Her mom, who I always got on well with, was disappointed and called me several times to see whether there was any chance we would get back together, as I was good for her. I stuck to my guns, though I did wonder whether I should perhaps just work through it. I'm glad we did break up though, because she bounced back quickly. I found out months later that she'd essentially gone on something of a sexual conveyor belt after me. Going on Tinder dates, sleeping with guys, and then ghosting them shortly afterwards. I eventually came to the conclusion that sex was just an outlet for her internal issues and she used it as a way to feel wanted. I doubt those sexual encounters held much emotional value for her, but if it helps her, then good for her. I think she's just probably better suited to a life where she can explore her sexuality freely. Since then, I've got with someone else and we are now engaged. My partner has a past, just like everyone else, and I know she's slept with a few people. I never expect the people I love to be saints. I just think perhaps my ex-girlfriend was just a little bit too far over the line for my particular level of insecurity and personal preferences. Instead of leading her along and making her feel like there was a long-term prospect for us, I felt it was easier for me to just end things and let her find that person/people who wouldn't care even a tiny bit about sexual history. It doesn't make you a terrible person to feel anxiety over things like this. We are all entitled to our personal preferences as long as we don't abuse the people who don't fit those preferences. She has every right to have sex with lots of people in any way she wants, but remember that you also have every right to use that knowledge as a good indicator for whether you plan on settling down with someone. No one gets to tell you what you can and can't rule out in a partner. It's your choice. As long as you don't shame her for making her choices. All I'm saying is don't lead the person on for years, as you will cause a lot of emotional damage to them when they find out that you're not quite as happy with them as they are with you.
Julie Barnes, 33, housewife.
You don't have to get over it. If you are against threesomes, that's how you feel. Just break up with her. It all depends on how you view threesomes. That's the answer.
James, 45.
Call me old-fashioned, but I would never get involved with somebody who had a track record like that. To me, that's asking for heartache down the line. but you just don't know. I got married to a woman who I dated for 2 years just to make sure that I had the right one. She seemed like the sweetest woman on earth. She gave me 2 children and gonorrhea. Maybe I should have gotten married to one that had a threesome before she met me.
Abigail, 37.
Ask yourself a couple questions. Is she free of STDs? Do you love her? Is it your past or her past? When it comes down to it, you've probably had sexual partners in your past too. Does she stress out over your past? If she does, then you both might want to look into couples therapy. If she doesn't, remember, she is having a relationship with you right now, and not any of her previous partners. Besides, threesomes are fun. Leave her past exactly where it is, in the past. Your only concern should be the present and future with her.
William, 31.
It all depends on the type of man you are. This is going to be an unpopular answer, meant more for the alpha types. But men know it's true. If she had a threesome years before she met you, and never brings it up and treats you like a king in every aspect, I would say talk to her about how it makes you feel. If she gives you some BS answer, tell her you would like to experience one yourself. If she says no, might be time to pull some alpha shit. That's when you'll know if she's a keeper or you're just being a beta to her. I know it sounds rough. I recently went through that, and she found out real quick how fast she was replaced. Do I miss her? Of course. She knew me well, but didn't show me the respect she gave to other men. That's when you walk away and not ever look back. I respect myself so much more. She was beta material anyway.
Brian, 33.
I understand you. Some people care and others do not. I know people who would prefer to have an experienced girlfriend who's had hundreds of partners, and others do not prefer experience. It is funny when people say, what happened before doesn't matter, just disregard it. It doesn't concern you. I've had girls tell me that, because after having been used by hundreds of guys, they want to settle down with a good guy that isn't looking to just use them for sex. I too can be extremely tormented by my girlfriend's past, such that the majority of girls I have ever dated were virgins, and all remained undefiled when we stopped dating. I have had girls lie about their past and body count, and eventually it leads to the failure of the relationship. You have the right to your feelings. If someone doesn't respect your feelings, they do not deserve to be in your life.
Miguel, 36.
If you cannot accept a person that has had a threesome, then move on. You cannot change what has happened. It is an established fact. You can try to change your attitude about this. It's hard, but you can seek professional help if you need it. But if you cannot accept it, then you need to move on. I would suggest establishing your limits early on in your next relationship.
So, we've heard every possible spectrum of opinion. From screw her to just love her and forgive her. What can I say? Everyone's right in their own way. There are no universal solutions. Personally, I think that you do not need to rush, and should look more carefully at her, yourself, and your relationship in general. And, if you feel good with her, if you see that she is sincerely attracted to you, then maybe, and fuck it, with this triplet, well, was and was. You don't know what's better. You may meet someone who will make a virgin of herself, you will support her, and then it turns out that she fucked half the city. And, in your case, at least you already know all her dark past. So, buddy, see what happens. And, if you decide, For old memory, once again hook up a triplet, then call me. Thanks if you listened to the end. Subscribe, like, and send me your stories. Bye.